What if I told you that wealth isn't built in your bank account first? It's built in your mind. Napoleon Hill spent over 20 years studying the world's richest and most successful people and uncovered a simple truth. Success follows a predictable formula, and anyone can learn it. In this summary of Think and Grow Rich, we'll break down the timeless principles that have transformed ordinary people into millionaires and show you how to use them in your own life. And if you love learning life-changing ideas like these, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next powerful book summary. Now, let's begin with the very first step towards success. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Every great success story begins with a burning desire, not just a casual wish, but an unshakable determination to turn an idea into reality. Napoleon Hill explains that wealth or any form of achievement first takes shape as a clear, definite goal in your mind. To put it simply, if you don't know exactly what you want, how can you expect to achieve it? Hill advises turning that desire into a concrete plan. Write it down, visualize it, and remind yourself daily why it matters so much. The stronger your desire, the more energy and focus you'll pour into achieving it. This isn't about daydreaming. It's about creating a definite purpose backed by action. Once your desire is clear and powerful, the next step is to develop unwavering belief in yourself and your goal. Let's explore faith, the second principle that transforms desire into reality. Point 2. Faith, believing before you see it. Desire gives you direction, but faith gives you power. Napoleon Hill emphasizes that you must believe so strongly in your goal that, in your mind, it already feels real, long before it shows up in reality. Faith isn't just blind hope. Hill describes it as a positive mental attitude you train yourself to develop by repeating affirmations, visualizing success, and surrounding yourself with encouraging influences. When you plant belief in your subconscious mind, doubt loses its grip, and your thoughts, words, and actions naturally align with your vision. This inner conviction fuels persistence, even when obstacles appear. Think of faith as the mental glue that holds your desire in place until it manifests through your actions. Now that you've built unwavering faith in your goal, the next step is to train your subconscious mind to believe it completely. This is where Napoleon Hill introduces the power of autosuggestion, a tool to feed your mind with thoughts that drive you toward success. Autosuggestion, training your subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill explains that your subconscious mind acts like fertile soil. It grows whatever seeds you plant. Autosuggestion is the practice of deliberately planting positive, success-oriented thoughts into your mind until they take root and guide your actions automatically. Why it matters. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between reality and imagination. If you repeatedly affirm your goal with emotion and conviction, your mind begins to accept it as true. How to use it. Write your definite goal clearly. Include what you want, when you want it, and what you're willing to give in return. Read this statement aloud several times daily, especially right after waking and before sleep, when your mind is most receptive. Visualize yourself already living that success. Feel the excitement as if it's happening now. Over time, this mental conditioning reshapes your beliefs, eliminates self-doubt, and pushes you to take consistent action. Once your subconscious mind is aligned with your goal, the next step is to fuel it with the right tools and knowledge. Hill calls this specialized knowledge, leveraging skills for wealth. Napoleon Hill emphasizes that general knowledge alone is not power. It only becomes powerful when organized and directed through practical action. Specialized knowledge is focused expertise in a specific area that can solve problems, create value, and generate wealth. Why it matters. Many educated people struggle financially because they stop at general knowledge. Success comes from applying specific, actionable skills to real-world needs. How to use it. Identify which skills or expertise are most valuable for your definite goal. Don't rely only on what you already know. Seek training, mentorship, and continuous learning. Surround yourself with people who have complementary knowledge. Hill calls this a mastermind group, a team whose combined intelligence exceeds that of any one individual. Key takeaway: knowledge becomes power only when it is applied in a definite plan, backed by a burning desire. But even with specialized knowledge, you need creativity to put everything together. That's where Napoleon Hill introduces the next principle: imagination, turning ideas into reality. Napoleon Hill calls imagination the workshop of the mind. It's where all plans are created before they exist in the physical world. Every great invention, business, or fortune began as an idea in someone's mind. Two types of imagination: synthetic imagination, rearranging old ideas, concepts, or knowledge into new combinations. Creative imagination, receiving fresh ideas, insights, or inspiration that seems to come out of nowhere, often triggered by strong desire and focus. Why it matters: desire gives you the fuel, but imagination gives you the blueprint. Without a clear mental picture, your goal remains vague and powerless. How to use it: visualize your definite goal as if it already exists. Use your imagination daily to refine your plan. Ask, what else can I do, or what could make this better? Stay open to new ideas by reading, meeting people, and exposing yourself to different environments. Key takeaway: what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, but it must first be imagined. Once you have a powerful idea, you can't stop there. It needs a concrete roadmap. That's why Napoleon Hill's next step is organized planning, the crystallization of desire into action. Dreams are great, but without a plan, they stay in your head. Napoleon Hill says success comes when you take that desire and turn it into a clear, step-by-step plan. Start simple. Write your goal down, then break it into specific actions. Decide what needs to happen, who will help you, and when it will get done. Don't do it alone. Build a small team or mastermind group of people who support you, challenge your ideas, and fill in the gaps where you're not an expert. Stay flexible. If one plan doesn't work, change the plan, not the goal. Every setback is just feedback showing you how to improve. In short, your dream only becomes real when you organize it, write it down, and move on it every single day. But here's the thing: even the best plan in the world is useless if you keep waiting for the right time. That's where the next principle comes in: decision, mastery of procrastination. One of the biggest reasons people fail isn't lack of talent, it's indecision. Napoleon Hill found that successful people make decisions quickly and clearly, while unsuccessful people keep delaying, overthinking, or waiting for perfect timing. Stop waiting for certainty. You'll never have all the answers. Make the best choice you can with what you know now. Say no faster. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to what truly matters. Commit, then adjust. A strong decision doesn't mean you never pivot. It just means you actually start moving instead of standing still. In short, indecision kills dreams. Action, even imperfect action, builds momentum. But here's the catch: making a decision once isn't enough. You need the strength to stick with it, even when things get tough. That's where the next principle comes in: persistence, sustained effort required to induce faith. Making a decision is just the first step. What separates dreamers from achievers is persistence, the willingness to keep moving even when the excitement fades or obstacles appear. Treat setbacks as feedback. Every failure is just data telling you what doesn't work, not a reason to quit. Build consistency over motivation. You won't always feel like taking action. Do it anyway. Protect your belief. Doubt will creep in. Surround yourself with reminders of why you started. Hill explains that persistence is what transforms ordinary belief into unshakable faith. When you refuse to quit, opportunities that once seemed invisible begin to reveal themselves. Of course, no one succeeds entirely alone. Even the most persistent people need support, guidance, and collaboration. That's where Hill introduces the next principle: the power of the mastermind, surrounding yourself with the right people. Success rarely happens in isolation. Napoleon Hill emphasizes that when two or more minds come together with a shared purpose, they create a third mind, a flow of ideas, energy, and solutions far greater than any individual effort. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth, not doubt. Blend strengths. A good mastermind group combines different skills and perspectives. Stay aligned. Everyone involved should share a similar vision and commitment. This mastermind principle is how leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators accelerate success. It's not just networking. It's about deep collaboration with people who sharpen your thinking and fuel your ambition. But to truly make these collaborations and your own efforts work, you need an inner ally as well, your subconscious mind. Let's see how Hill explains the subconscious mind, connecting desire with faith. Think of your subconscious mind as the fertile soil where every seed of thought is planted. Whatever you impress upon it, whether positive or negative, grows into your reality. Napoleon Hill explains that your subconscious acts as the bridge between your conscious thoughts and your deepest desires. It never sleeps. Even when you're not aware, it constantly works, shaping your beliefs, decisions, and actions. Faith is the key. Your subconscious responds most strongly to emotions like faith, love, and determination, not just idle wishes. Autosuggestion feeds it. Repeated affirmations and vivid mental images condition your subconscious to accept success as inevitable. Guard the gate. Negative thoughts are like weeds. If left unchecked, they choke your progress. Real-life example. Consider Jim Carrey, long before he became a world-famous actor. In the early 90s, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, post-dated 5 years in the future. He kept visualizing himself receiving big roles and kept that check in his wallet as a constant reminder. Over time, his subconscious mind absorbed this belief so strongly that he began making choices aligned with it, taking auditions seriously, refusing to settle for small, meaningless roles. By 1995, he was paid exactly $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. This is a textbook case of desire, faith, and autosuggestion working through the subconscious mind. When desire is deeply rooted and combined with unwavering belief, your subconscious transforms it into plans, opportunities, and even coincidences that move you toward your goal. But how does this invisible inner power communicate with the outside world? According to Hill, your brain isn't just a thinking organ. It's also a broadcasting and receiving station for thoughts. Let's move into the brain, broadcasting, and receiving thoughts. Napoleon Hill describes the brain as much more than a storage unit for ideas. It's an active transmitter and receiver of thought vibrations. Broadcasting thoughts. Every strong emotion, desire, faith, fear, enthusiasm, sends out mental energy like a radio signal. Receiving thoughts. Your brain can also pick up ideas, inspirations, and even solutions that seem to appear out of nowhere. The mastermind connection. When you collaborate with like-minded people, your combined mental energy amplifies these broadcasts. Higher frequency thinking. The stronger and more focused your desire, the louder your signal becomes, attracting similar thoughts and opportunities. For example, Thomas Edison and Henry. Think about Thomas Edison and Henry Ford were known to exchange ideas regularly. Their intense desire for innovations seemed to attract solutions at critical moments, almost as if they were tuning into each other's thoughts. Ford even said that after meetings with Edison, he often woke up at night with ideas so clear they felt sent to him. Hill's point is not mystical. It's about mental focus and creative energy. When you direct your brain toward a goal with faith and persistence, you'll notice more opportunities and insights, almost as if you're picking up answers from the air. But there's an even higher level beyond deliberate thought. Sometimes guidance comes in flashes of intuition, a sudden knowing that feels like it came from nowhere. Napoleon Hill calls this mysterious faculty the sixth sense, the door to infinite intelligence. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill describes the sixth sense as the highest form of the human mind, a mental bridge to infinite intelligence. While the first 12 principles like desire, faith, persistence are methods you actively practice, the sixth sense is something that develops naturally over time, once you've mastered the other steps. Hill explains it as a kind of intuitive insight, flashes of ideas, gut feelings, or hunches that seem to appear out of nowhere but guide you toward the right decisions. Unlike logic, which works step by step, the sixth sense feels instantaneous and holistic. If I share a modern real-life example, think of Steve Jobs when he said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." Jobs often relied on intuition, like dropping out of college but still taking a calligraphy class, which later influenced Apple's iconic typography and design. This is what Hill meant by the sixth sense, insights that appear when your conscious and subconscious mind are trained, and you're aligned with your purpose. It's not magic. It's your brain working at a higher level because you fed it clear goals, faith, and persistence. By developing your sixth sense, you tap into a higher guidance, a quiet inner voice that leads you toward better decisions, bigger opportunities, and even moments of pure intuition. But there's still one last obstacle that can block this higher intelligence from fully working in your life. And that obstacle is fear, the invisible barrier that keeps most people from achieving their true potential. Overcoming fear, the final barrier to success. Imagine a young entrepreneur, full of brilliant ideas, who wants to start her own company. She has the knowledge, the imagination, even a solid plan. But every time she's about to act, she hesitates. What if I fail? What will people say? What if I lose everything? These fears, fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of loss, are exactly what Napoleon Hill warns about. They creep into our thoughts silently, paralyzing our actions before we even begin. Hill explains that fear is not just an emotion, it's a habit of thought. And like any habit, it can be changed. The key is awareness, recognizing when fear is controlling you, and then replacing it with faith and action. Successful people feel fear too, but they train themselves to move forward despite it. Hill calls fear the final barrier because you can master every other principle, desire, planning, persistence. But if fear takes hold at the critical moment, all progress can collapse. When you learn to confront fear, you unlock the true power of your mind and remove the last chain holding you back from success. So, these are the timeless principles of Think and Grow Rich, ideas that have transformed ordinary people into extraordinary achievers for nearly a century. But remember, reading or listening alone won't change your life. Acting on these principles will. Every great success story starts with a single decision. The decision to believe in yourself and take the first step, even when fear whispers that you can't. If this summary lit a spark in you, imagine what applying these ideas daily could do. Don't let this be just another video you scroll past. Let it be the moment you choose growth. Subscribe now because we're just getting started, and your next breakthrough might be only one book away. Thanks for being here till the end. Stay tuned, and let me know in the comments what hit you the most from this book. I'd love to hear your thoughts.